This is called Quack Quack Goes to the Seaside. The village of Puddleton woke up on a Saturday morning to the birds singing in the trees and the rabbits running around on the village green in the early morning sunlight. Quack Quack opened her curtains to the sun beaming into her bedroom. "What a beautiful day," she said. "I should really make the most of this glorious summer day." With that, she went downstairs to make herself some breakfast and decide what to do. But just then there was a knock at the door. Quack Quack opened the front door to see Monty and Matilda Moose standing in the porch with big grins on their faces. "Good morning, Quack Quack," they both said. "We closed the shop and the garage because it's going to be such a sunny day, and we've decided to go to the seaside. Would you like to come with us?" she asked. "Oh, I was just thinking what I should do today, and your idea sounds lovely. Yes, please," Quack Quack said. "Well, we're going to knock on Herbie's door as well to ask him," said Monty, and disappeared next door. "Don't worry about food," said Matilda. "I've packed a picnic for the four of us and put in a big blanket and buckets and spades for when we get there." "Perfect," squealed Quack Quack. "I'm so excited. I love going to the seaside." Monty arrived back with Herbie, who was hopping up and down. "How great this is," he said. "I just can't wait to build some sandcastles on the beach. I was going to visit the museum in Pond Town today, but I'm glad I'd not left yet, or I would have missed out on this day trip." They all walked out to Monty's car and squeezed themselves in amongst a huge picnic basket and 4 brightly coloured buckets and spades. They were all so excited about going to the seaside that the journey went really quickly, and they sang songs all the way there. Arriving at Broadsands Beach, Monty parked his car underneath the shade of a big tree, and they all rushed down the sandy path to the beach. "Let's find a perfect place to sit down," said Monty. Herbie looked around and pointed. "How about over there?" he said. "We can paddle in a safe area of the sea by those green flags, and we can also explore the rock pools," he cried, with obvious delight. "A good idea," said Quack Quack. "Let's walk over, and then we can put the rug down and settle in." A welcome cool breeze drifted over the beach, and the four of them went over to a nice sunny spot, laid out the rug, and placed the picnic hamper and buckets and spades on the sand. "Let's go for a paddle in the sea. It looks so inviting," Matilda said to the others. So they all walked down to the water's edge. Monty brought down the buckets and spades, and they all made sandcastles. Afterwards, Quack Quack, Herbie and Matilda splashed in and out of the shallow waves and played tag. When they were all tired out, they walked back to their rug and sat down to enjoy their lunch. Matilda opened up the picnic hamper and took out a box of sandwiches, some crisps, orange juice, and then they had a slice of homemade cake to finish. Feeling very full, they all lay down in the sun and promptly fell asleep. Later on, Herbie woke up with a start. Something was pinching his toe. He shook his foot, but the pain was still there. Sitting up, he looked to see what the problem was. And his toe was pinched again. There was a small crab holding onto his toes. Before he had time to do anything, Quack Quack woke up suddenly. Something was holding onto her beak, and when she looked, it was another crab. She quacked loudly, which frightened the crab and caused it to lose its grip, and it scuttled off to the nearby rock pool. But the crab holding on to Herbie's toes was still clinging on, despite Herbie shaking his leg about. "Ow, ow, ow," yelped Herbie, and started hopping about on one foot. "What's going on?" chorused Monty and Matilda as they woke up to see Herbie dancing around the rug. "I've got this little crab holding onto my toe, and it's really hurting," Herbie cried. "And I had one on my beak as well," said Quack Quack, "but mine's disappeared back to the rock pool." "Come over to me," said Matilda to Herbie, "and I'll sort this one out. This crab has just lost his way back to the rock pool." Matilda got close enough to Herbie and dropped her head down so that her antlers were just touching his toe. The crab, seeing Matilda's antler to grab hold of, let go of Herbie's toe and grabbed hold of her antler instead. Matilda then carefully stood up and walked over to the rock pools and lowered her head. The crab, seeing that he was back at his home, let go of Matilda's antler and scuttled off in the water to find his friends. "My goodness, that was an absolute adventure," roared Monty with laughter. "I hope no one's hurt." "No, we're all fine," replied Herbie and Quack Quack together. "I think we should go home now and have a nice cup of tea," suggested Matilda. "I think we've had quite enough adventures for one day." "Oh, what a good idea," said Quack Quack. And with that they packed away their picnic hamper and rug and put those and the buckets and spades in the car and drove back to Puddleton. They all crowded into Quack Quack's lounge for a well-deserved pot of tea and some homemade biscuits, laughing about the day's adventures.